What really happens at midnight when the world sleeps? As the clock strikes 12, a hush falls over the city. For some, midnight is just a number, a marker on the clock face. For others, it's a portal to another realm, a gateway to the unknown. I've collected some terrifying tales from those who have dared to venture out after dark, and those who have had visitors in the dead of night. These are real stories of midnight encounters. Our first story comes from a Reddit user. I was 18 years old and working security at a psychiatric hospital. My shift ended at 11:30 p.m. and I had to walk past the main entrance to get to my car. It was winter, so it was completely dark outside. As I walked, I saw a man sitting on one of the benches outside the main entrance. I thought nothing of it and continued on my way. I then heard footsteps behind me, and I turned to see the same man running towards me. He stopped about 2 feet away, and I asked him if he was okay. He replied in a low, raspy voice, "Do you know what time it is?" I told him it was midnight, and he said, "It's 5 minutes to 12. Do you know who I am?" I said, "No," and he started walking towards me. I turned and ran. When I got to my car, I looked back, and he was gone. Our next story comes from a Reddit user. I was home alone one night, and I heard a knock on the door. I went to the peephole and saw no one. I thought it was weird, but figured it was kids playing. About 10 minutes later, I heard another knock. This time I opened the door a crack and yelled, "Who's there?" No response. Maybe it was the wind, I thought. But a minute later, I heard another knock. Whoever it was didn't give up easily. After the third or fourth time, I finally cracked the door open enough to see out. I didn't want to open the door all the way because I live alone and I was scared. Through the small opening, I could see the hallway and our front yard. There was no one there. I asked again, "Who's there?" Still no answer. I started to get creeped out. I closed the door, and just as I did, I heard a loud crash. I think it was the wind, but now I was too scared to check. I waited in my room for a while until I finally got the courage to go downstairs again. The front door was unlocked and slightly open. I must have forgotten to lock it when I went downstairs before. I looked out the peephole again, and there was no one there. And whatever had crashed was probably just some branches. I shrugged it off and went about my night. Our final story comes from another Reddit user. I was staying in a hotel by myself. In the middle of the night, I woke up in my bed paralyzed. I couldn't move or make a sound. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. Then I saw a shadow in the corner of my room watching me. It was tall and dark. It took a few steps towards me, and it loomed over my bed. It breathed heavily, and its eyes glowed red. I tried to move, but I couldn't. Then it reached out a hand towards me, and I woke up screaming. These aren't just tales. They were lived. Between the stories, let the atmosphere build. Let the wind howl in the background. Let the clock tick. And then it's time for the climax. Let the final story be the most terrifying. Perhaps it's a story of a close call with death, a ghostly touch, or an encounter with something demonic. Something that will leave your listeners questioning what they would do if it happened to them. Because midnight isn't just another hour. It's when the veil between our world and the next is at its thinnest. It's when the shadows grow long and the monsters come out to play. But it's also a time when anything can happen. So what will it be for you? Have you ever had a midnight encounter? Share your story in the comments below.